These are the tough ones. Raving about a masterpiece can be easy. Eviscerating outright disastrous flicks, heck, that could be fun to do. But calling a critically acclaimed movie just okay? That's not easy. You know, there's stuff in there you like, something that you really want to grasp onto and appreciate it on its own merits, but you know there are still some things wrong with the movie that kind of nag at you in a specific way and you just can't let it go. And that's probably basically how I feel about Wonder Woman. Not because of my baggage against DC, but as a standalone movie, there are problems I genuinely have with Wonder Woman. But make no mistake, because there are some elements in Wonder Woman that make it almost dang near perfect. What those are, I'll talk about later. Now, a lot of people, I was not looking forward to this movie whatsoever. And in all honesty, I was shocked to my dismay to find out that this movie had some very positive reviews. So since I saw the very positive reception, I didn't go in going, yeah, we'll see about that. I basically walk into this movie thinking, okay, I'm gonna like this movie just about as much as anybody else. Now it came out of it, and here we are. In this movie, Gal Gadot reprises herself once again as Wonder Woman, aka Diana Prince, a young warrioress born and raised on an island called Themyscira. Themyscira being a secluded island filled with nothing but Amazons, female fighters, and fearless warrioresses. But one day she manages to find and rescue a pilot named Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, as he basically informs her that not only is he a spy, but later he tells her that World War I is going on, men, women, and children are dying, there are bad guys that they have to go after like General Ludendorff and Dr. Poison, and they need to stop him immediately. But fortunately, what gets Wonder Woman into the war is that she wants to go with Steve Trevor because she thinks that the person that is possibly causing all this chaos is the god of war, Ares. Or she possibly thinks that one of the bad guys is Ares. So she tags along with Steve Trevor to hopefully put an end to this war. Now, is this movie perfect in every way, shape, or form? No, it's not. Is it absolutely abysmal? No, it's not. Is this the best movie in the DC cinematic universe? Yes, by a long shot. Now, although there are some flaws I have with this movie, there are some positive elements with this movie that almost make it great. So, let's talk about them. First of all, let me talk about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. You remember what I said about Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in my top 10 worst list of 2016 video? Henry Cavill proves himself yet again to be the worst on-screen Superman by many miles, and I forgot to mention this character in my review of the movie. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Yeah, Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman in this movie, and she's awful. Well, I have to be completely honest and say that she really acquits herself admirably here. I mean, she's not the perfect personification of what Wonder Woman should be, and she's not my ideal pig of what Wonder Woman should be played by, but as far as first appearances go in movies, I think she did an exceptional job. She's naturally funny, she has good charisma, she's very determined, and she's exactly what a superhero should be. And unlike a lot of superhero movies like Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, she's actually a superhero that legitimately wants to save people. And there are some scenes where you legitimately care about her, but by far the best actor in the whole movie is Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. His comedic timing is right on, he's very relatable and likable, and his chemistry he has with Diana really works. Like, whenever the two are on screen and they're sharing banter back and forth with each other, it feels really natural, it doesn't really feel forced. But the thing that almost makes this movie completely flawless is just the look of the whole movie. The production design, the look of everything, particularly the island of Themyscira and the setting of World War I, is completely gorgeous to begin with. And the color palette of the whole movie is what makes this whole film alive and bright. And of course, this is a superhero movie, so you're gonna have your fair share of comedy. And to be honest, you get your fair share of laughs here and there. Of course, there are some scenes that were only made to lead up to this one joke, but there are some moments like the funny banter and the fish out of water humor that actually is just kind of enjoyable to watch. The action scenes are serviceable and they drive the plot forward. They're not particularly amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but they do somewhat manage to keep me entertained, even if they're severely suffering through slow-mo speed-up slow-mo syndrome. Alliteration. Don't sit there with your arms crossed, you know you're impressed. But yeah, there are flaws that I have with this movie, as I addressed in the beginning of the video. Now, we can obviously understand that Gal Gadot and Chris Pine are beyond one of the best characters in this entire movie. Well, actually, they're the best characters in this whole movie. Some of the side characters you can't really latch onto, they're kind of underused, they're weak, and to be honest, I think they're kind of forgettable. I mean, sure, you get some characters that drive the plot forward as a side character should, but some of them only provide the comic relief, some of them serve as plot devices, and some of them are meant to be exposition fairies. And while, of course, the banter between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine actually are very effective, some of the dialogue that other characters say are either completely underwritten or completely cliche, and the villains don't make things better either. They are some of the most cartoony, over-the-top villains. I mean, these are the type of villains you would see in a Saturday morning cartoon. Their performances were too over-the-top for me to even take them seriously, and they didn't really make me feel threatened or scared or terrified in any way, shape, or form. There's literally a scene where they do something completely evil and sinister, and after they do that deed, they literally have to do a hee moment. Now, here's my final complaint overall. There's a moment in the movie where the whole time I'm like, okay, if you keep doing what you're doing, if you keep me entertained, if you lead to where I want you to lead, then I'll give you a high rating. But when the movie reaches its third act, that's when the movie gets straight downhill. And the sad part about that is that there's a very good moral that Chris Pine gives to Gal Gadot, and it really works, and it's very effective. However, it's completely ruined by having the whole thing become a light show. Just like the end fight from Batman v Superman, just like the end fight from Man of Steel, it has to end with a bunch of explosions and CGI nonsense. And while this is going on, she's fighting a villain that obviously you know who's gonna be in the movie, and you just don't care about either way. Is this movie terrible? No, it's not. Is this movie amazing? Is it one of the best movies ever? No. While Wonder Woman does have its flaws, like the final act being a complete mess, some of the side characters being weak, even the villains, and while the dialogue may be super cliche at points, there are some things that can equally compensate for all of them. Like Gal Gadot and Chris Pine giving great performances and having great chemistry, the humor working effectively, the look of the film and the color palette is just so gorgeous to watch. And the action, while they suffer through the slow-mo speed-up slow-mo motif, are actually legitimately fun to watch. It's a legitimately, competently made movie. Yes, this is the best DC Cinematic Universe movie by many miles. But as it stands for me, it's just okay. It's flawed, but fun. And for that, I give Wonder Woman a 3 out of 5. Alright guys, that is my review of Wonder Woman. Comment below, let me know what you thought about the movie. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. And also, be sure to subscribe for more. My name is Luke Nukem, and you have been blown away.